Now that we know how to connect to a remote Ubuntu instance on cloud from our local machine, let us again connect to that. So the command is ssh-i and the private key which we need to access that thing. So the private key file which I have downloaded is my AWS Ubuntu key, right? And then the IP of my machine, which is this one. So copy this and paste it as the last argument to our command Ubuntu and paste the IP address. So we are in that ls. So now let us proceed to getting the repository, GitHub repository, which we have used to deploy the application on GKE in our previous video, in our previous project. So let us just clone that project. So if you remember, this is the GitHub repo which we have created, which we have used to deploy the application onto the GKE. So let us clone this, copy, and in the command line, like in our Ubuntu instance, git clone, paste this. So in order to paste, I just clicked with two of my fingers on my mouse touchpad. So Control V is not working here. So you may try these methods. So yeah, let us do ls. So this is present and cd minikube ls. So we can see all these things here. And to recap, cd kits ls. So this contains the README and the deployment ingress namespace and service YAML configurations, right? So basically what will happen is when we cat this deployment.yaml, cat means a command which is used to display the content of this file. Okay, so we can see that this is the thing we have written in this file. So the first is API and version, kind, and the name of the deployment along with its namespace to which it should belong to, and the replicas, labels of the pods, and the containers. So here, just like we have discussed previously, the name of the container is this, and the image it is going to use is this. Okay, so basically we haven't built any application as such in this repository. We just used the image which we have previously built in some of our other projects. We just used that image name in order to deploy this application onto GKE, but we didn't build any application as such in this particular project. So what we shall do now is, since our scenario is to change our application a bit and then deploy that onto the GKE with the kind of automation, right? So for that, first of all, we need to get the files of that application too, right? So that is what we are going to do now. So let us just get those files into this repo. But before that, one small thing is yet to be done. So if we do cat ingress, you can see this host. So basically this is the repo which we have used to deploy this app onto the Minikube and push that onto the GitHub. And then this GitHub repository is cloned in the G Cloud console, Google Cloud console. And we removed this line, right? So let us just remove this line and make our repository ready. Okay, so nano ingress, remove this line, and we have also removed this annotations part. Okay, Control X and Y. Okay, so if you remember, this is the GitHub repo, which is the basic app repo which we have built for our Travis website, right? So this is the HTML folder. Upon opening this, it has index.html and base.html, right? And then the Docker file. this has these instructions based on which the Docker image will be built for this application, right? So let us just get these two components from this repo into our current Ubuntu instance. Okay, so in the command line, we will just we are inside this, right? So for clarity purpose, let us change the name of this repository. So MV Minikube deploy to K8s ls. So the name, it is like renaming, the command to rename this this folder to this folder. Okay, now cd deploy to K8s ls. We have all this, right? Now inside this, let us make a folder mkdir html, which is the same name in the previous repository, in our previous project GitHub repository, this one. Okay, now so we have this repo as well now. So inside this repo, we will create two files, which is the days.html and index.html. So we are inside this HTML repo now, and then we will nano index.html. Okay, so we will copy the content of the HTML file from that. So this is the index.html. So I'm going to take the raw so that it will be easy to copy. Select it and use Ctrl+C to copy that. Now in the command line, okay, so I just clicked on my mouse pad with 2 fingers. Ctrl+X and Y, hit on enter. So cat index gave this. Now similarly, nano days.html. Now go to the repo similarly. Close this. Now go to days.html, raw form, and then copy this content and paste it in the Ubuntu instance command line. Ctrl+X, Y, hit on enter. Cat days.html. So it is copied, right? So similarly, we will also create the Docker file. So go outside HTML, ls. Now here, nano Docker file. Okay. Now similarly, go to the GitHub repo. Raw. Copy these lines. Paste it. Ctrl+X, Y. Cat Docker file. Okay. So we have successfully got the HTML files along with the Docker file into our current repo. So ls. Okay. Now ls cd ls. So we have all the necessary files with us. So as per our scenario, let us make some small changes to our application, such as changing the color of text or something. After making the changes, we will also write the deploy.sh file, in which we will write all the commands like building the Docker image, pushing it to Docker Hub, and applying the YAML configurations, all these things in a shell file. And then along with that file, we will push this folder onto a GitHub repository, and then pull that repo from the gcloud console. Then we will run this deploy.sh in that shell, in that Google Cloud shell, by connecting that shell into a Kubernetes cluster, so that we don't have to write every command individually, but all the commands curated inside a single shell will be shell file will be executed. So all these steps we will be doing now. Okay, so the first thing is to make a change to this application and write the deploy.sh file and push all this along with the deploy.sh file onto the GitHub. Okay, so go to HTML folder and let us change the color of the initial page. Okay, so here we will write style is equal to color red. So we are just asking that, we are just saying that this particular heading should be in the center of the page and the color of the text should be red. Okay, so semicolon and then Control X, Y, enter. Okay, it is just cat it. So we have successfully changed this application a bit, right? So we have applied a small change to our application, and we want this to be reflected for our application when we deploy this onto the Kubernetes cluster, right? So for that, instead of rewriting all the necessary commands to deploy that onto K8s, we will write those commands into a shell file. Okay, now go back to the previous parent folder, which is deploy to K8s folder from HTML folder. So cd dot dot, and then here we shall create the deploy.sh file. Okay, so nano deploy.sh. So just like we discussed previously, the first and foremost thing is to build the Docker image for this application, and for that image we will give the image name along with its tag, right? The tag of this image. So just like we have discussed previously, we shall use the image tag to be the latest git hash commit. Okay, so anyhow we will be committing this code onto GitHub. Okay, and that will be having a git commit hash, right? So we will take that particular hash, and that particular hash will be used as the tag of the image which we will be going to use, we will be going to build. Okay, so for that let us create a GitHub git sha environment variable. So git underscore sha is equal to dollar git rep parse head. Okay, so this command will be helpful for us to get the hash of the recent commit. Okay, then the next step is to build the Docker image, right? Build Docker image with the recent git commit hash. So I'm just writing all these annotations so that you will be able to clearly understand what we are going to do, right? So the command is docker build -t, and the account name is Vagdevi K /. So I want to give the image name as static website K8s colon. So after this column, we need to write the tag. So the tag is, as discussed previously, this is going to be the tag. Okay, so dollar paste it, because this is an environment variable. Okay, so this command will be to build the Docker image for our application, but the Docker page will be built only based on the Docker file, right? So the last argument is to mention the directory where the Docker file is present. So if you go back and so if you remember, we have created this deploy.sh file within the same level as the Docker file, right? So both are present in the same level. So in this deploy.sh file, when we want to mention the folder where the Docker file is present, we shall just put the dot indicating the Docker file is present in the very folder where this particular file is present, right? So that is the reason we will write the last argument of the deploy.sh file where we have written the docker build image command. So the last argument is to mention the folder where the Docker file is present. So just come here and dot. Okay, and hash. So this command will be used to build the image of the current change updated application, right? So after building this, we also need to push that onto Docker Hub. So push the image onto Docker Hub. So the command is docker push, the same thing. Okay, and then we also want to apply all these configuration files in order to form the K8s resources like deployment resource, service resource, ingress resource, namespace resource, and all, right? So all these things are present in this K8s folder, right? So ls K8s. So we have all these YAML files here. So what we shall do is we will first create the namespace resource and then apply this folder which internally applies all these resources, all the other resources. Okay, so apply K8s YAML configs to form K8s resources. Okay, so first we shall apply the namespace file kubectl apply -f K8s / namespace dot YAML. Okay, so after the namespace is created, under that we can just apply this folder because it contains all the YAML file configurations for all the K8 resources which we require. So K8s. Okay, so after this, as we have discussed previously, we also need to edit the YAML configuration file of the deployment resource and to use that updated image of that app, right? So the basic idea here is to deploy the updated application, right? So that is the reason we are doing all these things. And now the image of the updated application is this one, right? So we build this image and then we push this, right? Now if you go back and see cat K8s deployment, so it has this image, right? But now we want to run the application whose image is this, right? So we can't just go every time this some changes are made to our application, every time the new Docker image is published onto Docker Hub, we can't just manually go and edit this Docker file, deployment resource file, right? So we can't every time edit this. So we can automate this by using a kubectl command itself, which we will be writing here. Okay, so update the image in deployment resource. Okay, so we can do this by using a kubectl command only, which is nothing but kubectl set image and the other arguments. So kubectl set image deployment.apps static web deployment. The namespace is sample. I will explain all these things, don't worry. And then base app container equal to this image. Okay. All right. So this is the full screen. So we are using the kubectl command to set the image of this deployment. So why have we written this? Because when we just get all the deployments in a namespace or something, it will show this, right? So out of these deployments, I want to update the deployment with this name. And this deployment belongs to this namespace. And in this deployment, I want to update the image of this container, and I want to use this particular image. Okay, so I will cat this deployment also, deploy also. So now it will be easier for you to understand. So the deployment name is static web deployment, which is nothing but this. Okay, and the namespace of this deployment is sample. Okay, and the container is this days app container. All right, and in this deployment resource, this container will be running this image by default as per our configuration in this deployment.yaml file. But whenever the changes are made, we are building a new image based on the updated application every time. So this image, this set image command is kind of an automatic way of updating the image that this container will be running. So instead of doing the nano deployment.yaml and then be manually editing all these lines, we can just automatically set this image to this updated image whose container is this. So I hope you got the idea, right? We're going to push all these things onto the GitHub, and then we will be running this file from the gcloud console. Okay, and that gcloud console will be configured to use the Kubernetes cluster which we will be going to create. So first off, when we go into the GCP console, we will create a Kubernetes cluster, and we will configure the gcloud console to access that cluster. After that, we will pull this updated application GitHub repository from that gcloud console, which is configured to use the Kubernetes cluster. And then we will run this deploy.sh file from there. Okay, so when we run that, we will first get the hash of the recent commit, and we are storing that hash into this variable, and then we are building the Docker image for the updated application, and the Docker image will be in the same directory. So based on the Docker file instructions, this Docker image will be constructed, and that will be pushed onto the Docker Hub, because K8s cannot use or create the images on its own. So we are just making that online available so that K8s can use it when deploying. And then we are pushing this Docker image because the deployment resources cannot do this on their own. They just want to get the image of our application directly. So that is the reason we are pushing this onto Docker Hub, so that we can just write the name of the image we want to use later in the deployment resource, right? And then after pushing the image onto Docker Hub, we just want to create the namespace of our resource, a namespace resource, and then apply all the other resource configuration files like service ingress, deployment, and all. And then finally, we want to set the image of the deployment to be the most recent image which we have built and push here, so that our application hosted on K8s will be able to reflect the new changes which we have made to the application here. All right. So for now we have written the deploy.sh file. Now it is our turn to push this onto GitHub. So before that, let us create a new GitHub repository and do push all these code changes to that, so that it will be clear for us in the future when we refer that also. Okay, so in the GitHub, create a new GitHub repository, give it a name like deploy to K8s. Okay, so description, let us just write like this repo contains code to deploy static web app automatically to GKE. Okay, and then create repository. So now go to the command line. Let us initialize the GitHub repo here, like git tracking. So git init, this initializes the git tracking, and then git status, which gives what are all the files to be tracked and what are already tracked by Git. So it shows that these three are not tracked and this is tracked, right? So here it says reinitialized, which means the reason for this to happen is, if you remember, we have cloned this repository and renamed that repository to this, right? So if we do git remote -v, so it shows that we have fetched this code from this link, right? So we shall do one thing. We shall remove this ls-a. So you can see this dot git, right? So -a means to show all the files present in this folder, including the hidden files. So generally, this git tracking folder will be hidden from being displayed to us. So when we do this command, we will be able to see the hidden files also. So let us just remove that .git file folder, so that no tracking will be there, and we can freshly start tracking, because we want to push all this application code into a new GitHub repository, so that things will be cleaner for us to understand even in the future. Okay, there seems to be write protected regular file. So Control C -rf. Okay, so means recursive force delete. Okay, so now when we do ls-a, there is no hidden git tracking, right? So when we do git remote -v now, it doesn't contain any git repository, right? So now we can freshly initialize whatever the trackings we want to have. So git init, so initialized empty git repository, and then git status, so no commits yet, and untracked files are these. So now we shall add all these things. Git add dot, which means the current directory. So we are telling whatever the changes are made to the current repository, please add all those things. Okay, so now let us see again git status. Now we expect to see that all these files are being tracked. Okay, changes to be committed, right? So now let us commit this. Git commit -m added deploy.sh, and what all have we added? HTML folder and Docker file to deploy onto GKE. Okay, so finally we need to push this onto a GitHub repo. So for that, we can just go to these commands which are given to us when we have created the new GitHub repository. So we are done till this point. So if at all we want to have a separate branch, we can do that. By default, we can be using the master branch. So, but still, let us do these commands in the sequence. git remote add origin, this. Okay, now git push -u origin main. So give your credentials. And yes, now let us check this GitHub repo. Refresh this using Control R. Okay. So let us change this README according to this file, this project, nano README. Deploy changes automatically onto GKE. Okay, so we shall push this again onto GitHub. So git status. So this shows that this file is modified now, right? README is modified. Now git add README git status. So this shows that this change is to be committed now. Now git commit -m changed README description. Okay, now git push origin main. Give the credentials. Okay, now let us go to the GitHub repo again. Control R. Okay, so this is changed. All right, so we have pushed our changes onto GitHub. So till now we have changed our application, like we have changed the color of text, and we have written the deploy.sh file where we have curated the commands which are used to apply those changes onto the K8s cluster. And then along with the changes made to the application, we also pushed this deploy.sh file onto this GitHub repository. So the next step is to go to the GKE, the GCP console, and create a Kubernetes cluster and connect our gcloud console to the Kubernetes cluster and pull this repo from there, and then execute this shell file, which will internally execute all the commands which we have written here. Okay. Now go to GCP. Kubernetes engine. Create the cluster. Let us name it as static version and 1600. Create. So this might take some time. The cluster is created now. So let us launch the Google Cloud Console. Click here. So first of all, we need to configure this Cloud Console to interact with our project and our cluster, right? So for that, we shall use this command gcloud container clusters get credentials, then the name of the cluster, which is this one, right? Then the zone equals this, and then the project ID which it belongs to. So here the project is the lab and the ID is this one, okay? Authorize. So yes, right? So the second step, so first let us check the kubectl version here. Okay, and then the second step is to set up our Ingress controller so that whenever we apply the Ingress resource YAML file, this controller will be put into action to implement those configurations which we mentioned in the YAML file, right? So first, let us see if Helm is installed already. So if you have followed the previous versions of the projects, you should have already downloaded and installed Helm. So let us just check it. So it is there, right? So for those of you who haven't done that, so the commands to do it is, first of all, this one, okay, and then give the execution permission files, and then execute this shell command. So, okay, and then we shall add the Ingress repo. So it says already exists. So first let us check if there is any Ingress controller running for our project. So there is nothing, right? So let us discover. So let us understand what this means. So kubectl get pods. So if you remember, we have learned about this command, right? Kubectl get pods, get services, get deployments and all. So this tells get all the pods from all the namespaces and find those pods with ingress in their names. Okay. So basically, whenever we download and install this Ingress Nginx controllers, it will always have Ingress word in that name. So we are just trying to see if there is any Ingress controller already set up for our project. So there is no such thing because we haven't done anything yet till now for this project, right? So now let us set up the Ingress controller using this command helm install my release, and the controller I want to use this is this. Okay, so you can give any name here, which is your Ingress controller name. Okay, so I'm just using this. So this also might take some time, so don't worry. I'm pausing the video. Okay, so this seems to be done, right? And then now we shall again execute this command. Now we should see my release Nginx Ingress controller, something like that, because we have set the Nginx Ingress controller right now. Okay, so this is the thing. So this says that this particular Ingress controller is set for us. Okay, so yeah, so primary setup has been done. So the next step is to clone the GitHub repository which we have pushed previously with the application changed, right? So go to GitHub, go to the repository. So this is the one, right? Now let us clone this Git repo. Git clone, paste the link, ls. Okay, so we can see this one, right? So let us go into that, cd deploy ls. So everything is fine, right? So now our job is to run this file, which internally executes all the commands, which will help us build the Docker image for our updated application. And that tag will be the hash of the recent git commit for this repo. And then push that image onto Docker Hub, apply all the YAML configurations as mentioned in this folder, and then update the image of the deployment with the latest image we built, right? So for the execution /deploy. So upon hitting the tab button, we are not able to get the file name. This might be because it doesn't have enough permissions for us to execute. So let us give the permissions chmod 700 deploy.sh. Okay. Now if we do /deploy and tab button, it runs, right? Okay, so the error says this second line git sha command is not found. So okay, so here we have given some spaces before and after the equal to. So when setting an environment variable in shell file or anywhere else, we should not give any spaces before and after the equal to. So let's change that. Save it. Now execute it. So now it seems to be working fine, right? Okay, so build successfully pushed and configured, right? So now we may just go to the ingress section. Okay, so here click on this. Okay, so sometimes this might take some time to appear to be okay, because it has to set up the ingress and it has to set up all the routing configuration with the ingress controller and set up all the background services, right? So it might take some time. So for now, just copy this link, go to a new incognito mode tab, paste the link. Okay, now we can see this, right? Okay. So the change we have made to our application is we have made this text to appear in red, and we have deployed it in the same way with our new application changed. And the main scenario for our current project is that we have written all the commands required to do this deployment in the deploy.sh file, right? And then we simply executed this. We pulled the GitHub repo into the G-Cloud console and executed this, which has internally executed all the commands which we have written in this. And finally, the deployment has happened just by executing this deploy.sh file, right? So we didn't take any pain of writing each and every command, like building the image, pushing the image, applying configurations and all, right? So that is a kind of automation we achieved using this file. So our next goal is to automate even this process using Travis. And before moving forward, one more important point is that when you click on this link, sometimes you may not be able to see this page. Okay, so this may be because of differences in the ingress YAML file, the way which we define in that. So right now we have used the YAML configurations as follows, where the path is mapped to a slash, which means the root route, right? So if you are not able to go to the next page upon clicking that link, you might have to change this file to have an asterisk, which is a wildcard entry. So this means that anything appears after this root here, and save it, and then apply it again. Ctl apply minus f k8's ingress. Okay, or also just write deploy.sh. Okay, but this will be a heavier method because it will again have to build the image, push the image. Even though we are not making any changes to the application, it will do all the process from the beginning. And since we have made changes to deploy.sh file and ingress file, let us also commit those changes to GitHub. So let us just see the status first. Git status. It shows that these two are modified. Now let us also see git remote -v in order to make sure the repository which we are going to push to. Then git add dot, which adds all the changes to this current folder. Again, see git status to make sure these are being tracked, right? Then git commit -n removed or corrected environment variable creation in deploy.sh and changed ingress. Okay, so it's telling, please tell me who you are. So let us configure these things. My email ID should be given here. So just give your email ID and then the username. So I'm just pausing the screen here. Now I'm going to commit that. Okay, and then git push origin main. So if remember, this is our branch which we pushed our code previously. So it's asking for credentials. This is, yeah. Okay, so now again go to GitHub repo to check changes are made or not. Okay, 42 seconds ago, and the commit description has correctly reflected over here. So let us proceed to our next milestone to automate the whole deployment process using Travis.